What's up, guys, and welcome back to WeatherNow. This evening, I will be providing you an evening update on the ongoing storm that will continue to strengthen and move into the northeast, and then I'll also be diving into the upcoming pattern that will continue through midway through March. So let's get straight into it. To start off, we'll be looking at the 18Z GFS model, and if you take a look at this storm, it's right here down into the mid-Atlantic. It delivered some snow across the DC region and Virginia and in Delaware and Maryland. If you continue to put this in motion, you see that the storm is going to start bubbling up right around here. This is 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning, and you're going to see you are going to have some moderate icing, and if you live in these regions, it could be impactful for the morning commute. And we'll take a look at the snow and ice totals in a minute. But if you continue to put this in motion, the storm continues to bubble up, and it will deliver some snow into Maine and to regions of the interior northeast. It could dump anywhere from 1 to 3. I think some local spots of 4 to 5 are possible, but 1 to 3 is definitely a safe bet. So it'll be impactful for the morning update, for the morning commute, but nothing you guys cannot handle, as we know. You guys have gotten 2 major snowstorms this year. This will be nothing. If we continue to put this in motion, the day 2 is the part that I'm kind of worried about is the severe line of thunderstorms I think will develop going into Wednesday and Thursday. And I think we're going to get a line of thunderstorms with some convectivity. And as these move across the plains into the eastern half of our country, I think that it could deliver some flooding, maybe some hail, and possibly even a tornado risk. But definitely watch out for flooding for farmers. It could be impactful. And then you continue to put this in motion, and you see that we continue just to have a very active pattern and storm train moving with rain and thunderstorms into the east and snow into the northwest. But let's take a look at the snow and ice totals for the event that's going to be going on tonight and into tomorrow. If you take a look at the snow totals, you can see that it's not much, but it will dump 1 to up to 3 inches, like I said, and up into Maine and Vermont, areas like that. Local areas of up to 5 to maybe even the GFS is showing 7. I think that's a little less likely, but 1 to 3 is a safe bet here. And a thing that might be a little bit concerning for some very, very specific regions here is the icing. I think you could have up to 1/10 of an inch widespread into Pennsylvania. You can see that it's painting 0.08 to up to 0.15 in all Pennsylvania, but then you have some pockets down here into the mountains of up to 0.4 up to maybe even half an inch, and into south western Pennsylvania up to 1/4 of an inch. 0 to a trace of ice or to 1/10 of ice is not really impactful, but once you get up to 1/4 of an inch to a half an inch, that's when the roads are going to be very slippery and maybe even some power outages. And I think we could get some localized spots with up to 1/4 of an inch to maybe even half an inch in the mountains. But that's just something to pay attention for in your morning commute if you live in those regions. And you see it's even delivering some ice up to 1/10 of an inch here into the northeast. So watch out for that. If it snows and ice is on top, the roads could be slippery in the morning. Now let's take a look at the upcoming pattern for the next 15 days or so. If you take a look at the SPC outlooks for the temperature, the 6 to 10 day forecast is right here. You see in this dark red in the eastern and northeastern United States, that is very above average temperatures, and each shade gets lighter and lighter. But if you're in any shade of the oranges or yellows or reds, that indicates above average temperatures for this time of year. So if it was supposed to be the average is 45 degrees, maybe it's like 50. It doesn't mean it's going to be 70, it just means it's going to be slightly above normal. And you see the only region holding on to average is all the way up here in the northwestern part of our country. If you take a look at the precipitation for the next 6 to 10 days, then you can see we continue to have this highlighted area in the dark green, and all of the eastern U.S. is highlighted in that green. That is just indicating that we are recognizing that storm train, and we're going to have severe weather into the south for maybe multiple days in a row, and storm after storm is going to bring flooding and possibly hail into this region. You see the only spot that we have below average precipitation is all the way here into California, and that is in this gray brown color. And if you take a look for day 2, which is Tuesday, March 2nd, then you have a categorical 15% marginal risk for severe weather, and you see that it's highlighting from Texas into Kansas and all the areas up into almost into the Chicago region, and that indicates that you could have severe weather with flooding, severe thunderstorms, along with hail, maybe some tornadoes. If you guys like the weather, hit the like button, and if you like my channel, please subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.